Deneen Borelli is the author of Blacklash, is here. Everybody here who would like one of her books, we've got them up here for her to sign and personalize for you and walk away with after the event. The subtitle of Blacklash is How Obama and the Left are Driving Americans to the Government Plantation. And they are driving Americans to the government plantation. She does not say driving white Americans or black Americans or Hispanic Americans. She's saying she's driving Americans to the government plantation. She's a contributor with Fox News and the director of outreach with Freedom Works, which is a grassroots organization that educates, trains, and mobilizes volunteer activists to fight for limited government. Deneen promotes the importance of personal responsibility and the benefits of the free market policies as a means of social advancement.
Patriots, good evening. We are really, really happy to be here tonight. Good job, honey. It's an honor this evening to take part in your event tonight. My friends, our country is at a crossroads, and that is why we are all here tonight on a Wednesday night. You could be home watching the Olympics, spending time with your grandchildren, your family. But we care about liberty and we care about our country, and that is why we are here tonight. And my husband and I, we will travel anywhere to fight for liberty. Now, if any of you had asked me 5 years ago, where do I see myself in 2012? I would have never have thought I would be speaking to a great group of individuals such as yourselves. Would have never thought I was someone who had written a book. Would have not thought I would be someone that is a Fox News contributor. Would not have thought it in a million years. But, you know, my accomplishments are a result of my faith in God and as a result of the fact that America is an exceptional country where anyone can succeed. And as Americans, we are blessed with opportunities. Anyone can succeed, not by race, not by family heritage, but hard work and perseverance. And as I describe in my book, Blacklash, I am a living example of America's exceptionalism. People can make excuses all they want. They can't get ahead. Nothing works. The opportunities are there. You have to seek the opportunities and make them work for you. Now, Blacklash is my story, how I evolved from everyday, hardworking American to standing on the front lines of liberty. Could not have been planned. Now, perhaps some of you have seen me on Fox News, or maybe one of my Tea Party speeches on YouTube. Certainly, I didn't get here on the fast route. I took the scenic route to get to where I am today, and I am proud of that scenic route. Like everyone in this room, I have had trials and tribulations, accomplishments and failures. My success is not the result of my family's wealth or heritage. Hard work, perseverance. I grew up in New Jersey, had a great conversation with a lot of individuals here at this table tonight. Grew up in New Jersey, I'm the oldest of 3 girls. I left home in my early 20s because I knew there were opportunities out there. Left the comfort of my parents' home, not knowing what was going to happen, what I was going to do, how I was going to make it work, but I left home. My family did not think I was going to leave. They just thought I was paying lip service. No, I left. Because what I was doing at the time wasn't enough for me. I moved to North Jersey, lived in numerous basement apartments, refrigerator barely bigger than this table, lots of ramen noodles for dinner, lots of nights, yeah. And I worked in Manhattan, loved the city, always wanted to be a fashion model, couldn't tell me I was not going to be a fashion model. I worked temp jobs during the day, I did telemarketing at night, and I did runway modeling on the weekends. I had 3 jobs at one point. Well, fortunately, when I was in high school, I learned to type over 100 words a minute, and I had shorthand skills, over 80 words a minute. So it was those core skills that got me in the door of corporate America. I worked at Philip Morris USA for 20 years, and I advanced in numerous levels, starting as a benefits clerk in the HR department. When I started at Philip Morris, I was making more money than my mother. So I knew then I was on to something, and that the sky was unlimited. Well, when the company moved to Richmond, Virginia, I took the severance package and I volunteered my time at CORE, the Congress of Racial Equality. I volunteered there for a year. I did their internet radio talk show program. I was a co-host and the director of the program. I had to know what I was talking about when it came to issues and interviewing other guests. So I had to be knowledgeable and on my P's and Q's about what I was going to say. But also, stepping back for a second, when I was working at Philip Morris full-time, I went to college at night for 11 years. And I am the first college graduate in my family. And I'm very proud. So after Philip Morris, I had zero experience or knowledge in public policy. Zero. I didn't care what happened in Washington. Let the politicians take care of it. They have this experience and knowledge. They know what they're doing. Well, boy, was I wrong, and I think everyone in this room would agree with me. As I learned more and more about public policy and reflected upon my life experiences, I realized that the messages that I had heard over the years from the likes of Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, those messages did not correlate with my personal experiences. What do I mean by that? What I mean is I broke out of the monopoly of the message from the black establishment echo chamber. I didn't need special treatment because of my skin color. I was not a victim. There wasn't racial bias and prejudice because I didn't get this certain job or wasn't promoted. I did not feed into that. None of this matched my personal experiences. I had God-given talents for me to utilize, for me to get ahead and be successful on my own and not to rely on anyone, and especially not to rely on the government. Since awakening from my political sleep, I've become a public policy activist for liberty. Why? Because, my friends, as I said, our country is at a crossroads. Government is way too big. It's too big. Outrageous spending. $16 trillion of debt and growing. We are enslaved by this debt. We have to pay that money back. We do. Our children, our grandchildren. Government overreach is out of control. It's an intrusion upon our everyday lives and our liberty. Government overreach is looting us of our liberties. We are enslaved by federal mandates. Thou shalt buy that light bulb. You will buy that car. You will use this health care brought to you by the government. How you heat and cool your home is even under assault. The progressive policies and the mandates will destroy the middle class and construct huge barriers against upward mobility. Well, my friends, I am playing my role to reignite liberty in our country. Our religious liberties are even under assault. Now think about that. With the Affordable Care Act, because of the Obama administration, contraceptive mandates are assaulting our religious liberties. And speaking of health care, first of all, it's not the government's role to provide Americans with all of their wants and needs. It is not the government's role. The government's role is to protect person, liberty, property. That's the government's role. Not to provide cradle to grave entitlements. We should be striving for smaller government, not bigger government. As I describe in my book, Blacklash, government-run healthcare is about spending and control, not about delivering quality healthcare. According to a Senate study, Obamacare will cost $2.6 trillion over the next 10 years, and not $900 billion as President Obama had promised. According to a recent poll, 83% of American physicians are thinking about leaving their practices because of government-run healthcare law. This healthcare law is not popular with the American people. According to Rasmussen reports, 52% want healthcare mandates repealed. 52%. 54% think the mandate will drive up healthcare costs. Now let's talk about energy. Energy is the lifeblood of our economy. It's the lifeblood. Our country is blessed with natural resources, coal, oil, natural gas. Sadly, our president hates coal, and he always has. And he's just keeping his word, keeping his promises, make electricity prices skyrocket, bankrupt utilities that use coal. Joe Biden is no better, and he's from Delaware. He said no coal plants here in America. High energy cost is the last thing we need with high unemployment. 8.3% nationwide, over 14% in the Black community. Among Black youths, over 36% unemployment. The rise in utility prices will reduce living standards. Think about someone you know on a fixed income, and how would they be impacted with higher energy prices. You have people picking and choosing. Do I buy my medicine this month? Do I pay my utility bill? Do I fill up my gas tank? This is not the American way. Those who are least able to afford high energy costs will be the ones hardest hit. High energy prices are regressive. And President Obama is advancing a command and control energy policy where he is picking energy winners and losers. The winners are Obama's political donors and crony capitalist friends who promote the president's green energy goal, and they can afford energy at any price. These are the elites. The losers are we the people who pay for this failed energy policy. Now, this is not a matter of politics. This is a matter of right versus wrong. It is wrong to bankrupt an industry. It is wrong to implement policies that will reduce living standards. It is wrong to reward political allies with our hard-earned tax dollars. It's wrong. Let's talk about education. Government-run schools are failing our children. Failing our children. Out of control classrooms. No discipline. Students not going to classes. Students dropping out of school. Not doing their assignments. Not being accountable. Children raising children. Children getting inducted into gangs. I'm a former board member with the charter school in Harlem, New York. I've seen firsthand the destruction that is going on in these public schools and how these children should not be in the situation that they are in. And sadly, they are. When children don't get a quality education, they are subjected to other ways to make a living. Selling drugs, gang violence, parents incarcerated, children raising children. You know the story. That is why school choice, such as charter schools, school vouchers, they are crucial because it puts the power in the hands of the parents. And this is something you can talk to anyone about who has common sense. People ask me, how do I approach someone about liberty or free market and personal responsibility? Education is key. Everyone should want a quality education for their child, for their neighbor, a child that you might be mentoring. It's common sense. Put the power in the hands of the parents. The parents know what are their child's educational needs. Now, we all have a role to play to rein in government gone wild. I believe that is why we are here tonight. I am doing my part, my friends. That is why I'm very excited in my role as Director of Outreach with FreedomWorks, because I have an amazing platform to deliver the message of less taxes, smaller government, more freedom. That's the message. I am excited to be a part of the Tea Party movement because it is a significant force that cannot be denied. And unfortunately, some continue to inject race into the Tea Party movement, labeling the members as racists, extremists, and rednecks. Well, my message of liberty and limited government dispels the myth that the Tea Party movement is about race. It is about the failed progressive policies. The movement has nothing to do about race, but of course, not all of the feedback that I get is positive. And while the media is so quick to propagate on the myths about the Tea Party movement, it fails to cover the racial slurs that are hurled at Black conservatives such as myself. For example, I have been called a house nigger, an anti-Tom, a token, a traitor, a sellout, because I believe in liberty. I'm not telling people what to do. I'm not taking anything from anyone and giving it to someone else. I believe in liberty. And this is the attack that I'm under. I am one person. And these are people hiding behind their computers in their basements, trying to discredit me instead of challenging me on my principles and my values to my face. Well, in Blacklash, I expose this double standard of the media's failure to cover those instances. I am targeted because I am expressing my views. First Amendment, Second Amendment, pro-growth economics. Name calling is what the left does, to discredit you, to silence you. It is a battle of ideas and principles that we are up against. So I say to all of you, let's unite for liberty. I wrote Blacklash to ignite a flame in independent-minded Americans. This is a rallying call, a rallying cry to save our country. If you are white, do not be afraid to stand for liberty. Speak your mind that you don't like big government. If you are Black, don't be afraid to be criticized and critiqued by your friends, your family, your coworkers. Look at what they call me. And you know what? I don't care. Because when you think about our military personnel who are risking their lives every day, I will continue to stand on the front lines of liberty, and I don't care what people call me. I don't care. So we must stand up to this rhetoric. It's going to take independent-minded people such as ourselves. Party affiliation aside, leave the labels aside, talk about the issues and how these issues are hurting hard-working Americans. Because as I said, America is an exceptional country. Amen. And you see, our country doesn't guarantee anyone success, but it's liberty that guarantees you the opportunity to succeed.
Amen.
And I will stay on the front lines of liberty to keep the doors of opportunity open for everyone. We all have God-given talents. I invite each of you to explore yourselves, look at your talents, and what can you bring to the table. I don't care how old you are, what you do, where you've been. We all have God-given talents. And this is about liberty. This is about our future generation. And I thank all of you tonight for coming out. God bless you all, and God bless America.